What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's main event between Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly to help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. This Saturday, UFC 309 Heavyweight Championship. Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, versus the greatest heavyweight of all time. And a fight that's kind of like overcast by like the length of time that it has taken to get here, right? If this fight would have happened 12 months ago originally, like it should have happened when Jon had his pectoral injury, I think there would have been way less controversies surrounding it. But with it being postponed and then Tom Aspinall kind of jumping into the picture, almost being like the undeniable number one contender, is almost kind of push the fans more against Jon Jones more than they already have. With everything going on in the Jon's personal life, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, but I'm just saying that alone, with all the backlash that he has had with that, with his entire career, a giant asterisk, right? And then with him kind of holding out for the Stipe fight has only kind of added to that fire. But, with I'm about to go full Dana White here, and Jon Jones being Jon Jones, when it comes to picking his fights, I'm not talking about being labeled as the greatest or whatever, this and that, but like as the record of his fights, who he's beaten, how long he's done it for, he has the right to do whatever the fuck he wants to do in the UFC, 100%. And until somebody stops him, there's nothing else that's going to change that. Nothing outside of his sporting career, personal life wise, I think. I don't even think anything that in his personal life can even dictate that as well. Because, like it or not, like he really, like there's nobody who comes close talent wise in combat sports than to Jon Jones. Like nobody comes close. And in this fight against Stipe, right? It's a great fight, but like I said, it's the fact that they've both held out so long, the fact that Stipe hasn't fought since his fight with Francis, so I think about 4 years now. I mean, March 2021, so about 3.5 years. That kind of puts some shade onto the fight, but let's not get this twisted. We have the greatest pound for pound fighter of all time fighting the greatest heavyweight champion of all time in Stipe Miocic. So yeah, I think Jon's going to win this fight. And I think age has a lot to do with it. But I think the one common denominator, and I know MMA math doesn't work, guys, I know that. But I think the one common denominator that these guys have is DC. And with what Jon Jones did with DC back when DC was closer to his prime, he was able to put him away with that head kick in their second fight. Stipe got flatlined by DC when he was kind of on his way out. Now, Stipe was able to bounce back and put DC away in the second fight, but those first couple rounds, I mean, DC was outboxing the shit out of Stipe. And I don't know. It was just, yeah, Stipe was able to win that rivalry, but I just thought that DC had enough success in those 3 fights to show enough to where I think Jon Jones will be able to have a good enough blueprint as to what to do with Stipe. And I think that what Stipe brings to the table, his boxing, his wrestling, his length, his athleticism, his speed, Jon's going to kind of be able to match all those things and utilize his reach and distance as well at the same time. And I just, with Stipe being 42, he hasn't fought in 3.5 years. Now that really, 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 really might be good for him. But I just don't, minus George St. Pierre at a championship level, who else has done that? And GSP was coming back off of a decision win. That, I mean, yeah, he lost that fight, but Stipe has a chance and he can do it. But I just don't see him knocking Jon Jones out. I can see Stipe using leg kicks to get in. But I mean, honestly, like I'm sitting here trying to think like what, it's kind of like in Endgame when they ask Doctor Strange like how many outcomes do they have? They have the one outcome out of like 18 million. I feel like that's kind of like how it is with Stipe and John Jones. And it's no disrespect to Stipe. I just think John Jones is just on that level. I think it's like you have John and you just have everybody else. And it's no disrespect to Stipe because he is like one of my favorite fighters of all time. When he got beat by Francis at UFC 260, that was just like, fuck, dude. Fuck. That was heartbreaking. But yeah, I just think that John's just going to use his distance so well. Those teep kicks, those weird oblique leg kicks that he uses. I just think that he's just gonna pick Stipe apart. He's gonna get dirty with the eye pokes. Say what you want, but I just yeah. If anybody can beat John, it's gonna be Stipe. Like, because I'm excluding the whole Tom Aspinall and Alex Pereira thing. But I think if anybody can beat John Jones as a heavyweight, you know, it's gonna be Stipe. I just think that time is a big factor in this fight. The time, the fact that it didn't happen a year ago, the fact that Stipe still hasn't fought in 3.5 years. I know John hasn't fought, but John has definitely been a proven case that ring rust really isn't a thing. Yeah, I mean, he had the close fights with Santos and Reyes, but he won those fights. Say what you want. I still think that he won the Reyes fight. I thought he won 3-4-5, but whatever. It's not a fucking argument. Yeah, like I'm excited for this fight. I'm super pumped for this fight. I got John by, if not I either see him like just dominating 5 rounds, 25 minutes, or I see him beating Stipe in the same fashion that he beat Cyril Gane. And after the fight, if John wants to fight Tom, if he wants to fight Alex, cool. If he doesn't, cool. If he wants to retire, if it's like a close fight, even if he goes out there and fucking wipes the floor with Stipe and still decides to retire. That's what the guy wants to do. Let him fucking do it. It's John Jones. Everybody hates John Jones so much. I think they want him to fight Tom Aspinall just to see him lose. But like, what happens if he beats Tom? Then he's got to fight Alex. Then what happens if he beats Tom and Alex? Tom will probably be on a 2-fight win streak if he beats. You know what? There's always gonna be another fucking fight, especially in the case for John Jones. The guy's been champion for 14 years. Think about it. 14 years since I was 16 years old. I'm 30. Dude, John Jones has been champion since I was 16 years old. Think about that shit. I feel like I've lived 5 lives since then. So, yeah. It's going to be an end of an era, I think, this Saturday. And that's the bittersweet part of this whole video. I feel like it's going to be the last time I talk about John Jones fighting. And I feel like it's going to be the last time I talk about Stipe Miocic fighting. This whole year, like I said, I've talked about this several times. It's like this whole passing of the guard, the whole new era, passing of the torch. It's happening. Like the old Chuck Liddell era that ended, now the John Jones era is ending. It's fucked up. Longer video than normal. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this matchup. Do you guys think John Jones is going to get it done? Do you guys think Stipe is going to get it done? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.